Hey cats, what's happening? Boy, if you're not out riding, taking advantage of this weather, it's like 80 degrees. Take advantage of it now though, because the temperature is going to drop here. It's going to go back down into the 40s. Which is still doable, but a little chilly. I've had a couple of you guys ask me, how do you keep this hat on when you're going down the road? And with this shorter windshield, I do get a lot more wind in my face. Well, that's because I go for these hats that have the Velcro closure on the back. I can cinch that thing up tight. I mean, I probably have a red band around my forehead because it was squeezing my brains out. But my hat wasn't going anywhere, nonetheless. You know, the latest style of hat is that short billed flat, like I don't know, it's like a gangster hat or something. And I just haven't succumbed to that fashion yet. I still like the baseball style with the long duck bill, and you know, it kind of can keep the sun out of my eyes when I'm riding. And I really will only buy a hat with that Velcro closure on the back. The buckle ones are just too much a pain in the neck. The Velcro, you can almost sit there and do with one hand while you're sitting at a red light or something if you need to tighten it up or something. I used to always have V tighten it up for me. I said, you can tighten up my hat a little bit, and she'd rip that thing off and pull it over, and it took her about 2 seconds, and it was good to go, and my hat stayed on my head. Well, I just had a nice little ride into town. I went over to Home Depot again. I spent a lot of money at Home Depot. What did I get this time? Some spray paint. As I'm working on this bike, I'm, waiting for parts, so I work on some of the other things. So I've been working on the fender, and I got this silver paint. It's like a metallic silver, and it should match this back fender pretty good. You see it's got a little dinged up, so I'm gonna put a little steel wool on it. I already took the wire brush wheel to the inside and painted that with primer, but I'm gonna steel wool this down. I got a little bit of rust right where the tail light is, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Tail light will cover that part up. So yeah, like I said, perfect weather for riding. It is a little warm, and surprisingly, now my bike likes colder weather, but it ran like a champ today. I didn't have any problems with it at all. It never sputtered or backfired one time. It just rolled on right on down the road without a hitch. So I think she was happy just to get out and run a little bit. Close up shop here for the evening. The days are getting longer, man. I mean, normally in the winter by this time it would be pitch black already, but you know, it's still daylight in late afternoon, so now it's not getting dark till almost 9 o'clock, and that's a good thing. I like it. I gotta take you in the house and show you what we did yesterday. I went over to Buzz's farm and picked flowers. Yeah, this time of year the daffodils are blooming, and Buzz's dad grew daffodils in the woods, and for years he planted daffodil bulbs. And look at this. I mean, all different types, some very unique ones. This one looks like a carnation. That's cool. There's a pink one. Some of them have the bugles, some of them don't. But yeah, so Buzz and I went over there to the farm yesterday. We met a handful of women over there who wanted to pick flowers. And so Buzz and I went with the ladies and picked flowers. Now, I was saying to myself, what the heck am I going to do with a bouquet of flowers? You know, I don't have my wife here anymore. But I know she'd be very pleased with them. So I picked them anyways, and I put them up there next to her picture. Oh, as you can see, she's happy. Yeah, she's glad that I picked them. And the social time was good too. You know, got to be around some nice ladies, and Buzz is always kind and fun to hang out with. Being out on the bike, I get a little dehydrated, kind of parched. You know, that wind just sucks the life out of you. So I'm gonna pour myself a nice ice cold glass of lemonade. That's a better way. What a better way to enjoy summer evening. Oh boy, that hits the spot. It's better for me than alcohol, or you know, it bogs me down and makes me fall asleep. This kind of gives me a little pick-me-up. You know, I don't have a big circle of friends. I never did. In fact, you know, when Val was here, especially in the last couple of years when she started getting sicker, we didn't entertain anybody. So, you know, our social life was pretty nil. But now that she's gone, you know, I got two choices. I can sit around here by myself all day and twiddle my thumbs and be lonely, or I can go out and do stuff with friends. And so that's kind of what I've been trying to do, you know, up my social game a little more. Now, I used to hang out at the bar, and that was my social life, and boy, a social life it was. Uh, I had quite a family of friends there, if that's what you want to call them. But I'm not going to repeat that again because that ended in a disaster for me. So, you know, I carefully choose my little circle of friends nowadays and try to tone it down a little bit and hang out with people that are not going to get me in trouble. Then, of course, I got my YouTube family. I got all you guys. That's not so up close and personal, though, you know. Some of you guys I know personally, but the majority of you, no. But, you know, I know you from your comments, and I appreciate that. And I learn a little bit about you and, you know, in reading your comments every twice a week. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that support. But I'm not much of a family guy, even with my immediate family, you know. I mean, I have a daughter and a son, and they have families, and I have grandchildren. But I guess I'm not a very good grandpa. I just was never real good with kids. But I'm more like my dad's father, who was, you know, a little coarse with the kids. So that's me, you know. I don't do real good with children, but I'm not mean to them either. But I just don't have that connection or that bond with them like some people do. But back to friends, you know, I appreciate good friends, but I'm more like a loner, you know. I'm happy to not be too attached to somebody. The people that I associate with are pretty good. They know me. They know how I am, and they leave me alone when I want to be left alone, and that's a good thing. But then again, you know, like I said, being here in this house by myself every day, some days it gets pretty lonely, and it's not so much that, you know, I want a friend hanging over me, but you know, I really miss my wife. I don't like being lonely, but I don't know that I could ever replace my wife. And I wouldn't try to like replace her with. I wouldn't expect to find somebody equal to her. No. Some guys really find more of a bond though with other guys, and you know that they pick up that club life. You know, they want to be part of that club. There's all kinds of clubs and organizations all over the place. I mean, I could go to church and be in that group, and that's kind of like a club or a group, a tight knit circle of friends, I guess. And I'm not even into that because I've been there, done that. You know, I mean, you got all these biker organizations, biker clubs. You get tangled up in that, and then you begin to ask yourself, is this really what I want? Is this really fun? You know, I mean, am I really enjoying myself, or am I just here because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you know, and walk out the door? So, yeah, it's a tough situation, you know. It's like you're darned if you do, and you're darned if you don't. I do have one good friend that I'm very dear to. He's always by my side. He's always making sure I stay on the straight and narrow. He's always giving me good wisdom, and he's always there when I need him, and he brings me great peace and joy. My God, my Father. When I pray, you know, when I get real down, when I get real lonely, I pray. I speak to God, and you know, I know some of you guys don't believe, but I get this peace that comes over me, and I'm good. I'm good. He's there. He lets me know he's there. He's like, "You're okay, Mark. Just calm down. I got this." And hey, I'm happy again. Everything's back on the straight and narrow. One of the things that I found and I talked about in my last video is disciplining myself. For things like cleaning the house, you know. I keep hearing V in the back of my head saying, when are you going to run the vacuum? You haven't done that in like 3 days. And I think, yeah, I better do it before she starts, you know, yelling at me from up there somewhere. So I do, you know, push myself to stay up on things. I keep my house neat and clean and tidy. I keep my kitchen clean. I don't pile dishes up in the sink or anything like that. I don't know. I always think, you know, well, if somebody comes over, I want the place to be presentable. I don't want it to look like a pig pen. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. And if you've been out there, I hope you enjoyed the ride, because I sure did. And with summer coming on, we're going to see a lot more of that. I got some friends that want to ride with me, and I'm going to have to start getting those scheduled out because they're starting to pile up now. I got 3 different guys that all want to ride, and they're all, you know, they're not in the same group. So, yeah, I pick a day and put it on my calendar, and I'm all booked for riding that day. When do you want to ride? Next week? I got Wednesday open, so we can do that. It's almost getting that way now, and that's cool. That's a good thing for me. I like it. Well, like I said, thanks for watching. Give my video a thumbs up, please. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my videos. And until next time, cats, ride hard and die free. I'm going back for some more of that lemonade.